Welcome to the REHolistic Physio podcast. Here we're going to try and find out the whys in order to work on the hows. Everything that is covered on the podcast is based on current evidence and up-to-date information on each topic. Please seek advice from your GP or a healthcare professional before carrying out any of the advice that you hear on the podcast. Well, this evening, I'm very pleased to welcome Sarah Armstrong again, our health and fitness coach. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's nice to be back.
You're back. You're like, oh, again. I'm back again. Oh, Sarah, I'm going to mention that we just had a full-on laugh about how professional I was when I started the recording. I got into a fit of giggles and couldn't stop laughing, and that was it. That just kicked us off, and we had to take a few deep breaths in order to restart. Perfect. So, you know, as we said before, we're going to wing this.
Yep.
We're both in that 6-week holiday, looking after our children whilst juggling work, and we're slightly frazzled, aren't we, Sarah?
Absolutely. And we are a weekend.
It's been 3 days in the Big Brother house, and we're just going to try our best to give you a nice podcast this evening, a nice informative podcast. Today we're going to be covering the 10-day total mind and body health reset, which actually Sarah Armstrong, with the help of dietitians, came up with, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit more about how you came up with it?
Yes, so being a sufferer of psoriasis and needing to explore ways to reduce inflammation in my body, I have trialed a number of different things over the years, and actually by stripping everything back to be able to then implement things, but while being aware of how them things affect my body, has helped me master what exactly works for me, and I want to be able to give that to other people.
That's I think it's amazing. I think it's really, really good.
Sharing that information and just kind of throwing yourself into this for the 10 days and then look at implementing different things and just identifying how that impacts on you, because we're all different. Yeah.
We've said that before, haven't we? We've said that we're just so different as people. Genetically, we're made up completely differently. Our triggers are completely different. Everything within our body is completely different, actually. Hormone levels, everything. So mindset, how we respond to different stimuli, different things that we put in our systems, our digestion, everything, absolutely everything. Absolutely. Is excuse me, everyone, I've got a slight cold at the minute, so if I cough in between this, I do apologise. But yeah, I think this is a really good format, and myself, having sort of done this in the past, and actually with the help of Sarah some time ago, I started sort of a similar project with you, didn't I? Where we looked at everything, kind of stripping it down, looking at what I ate, when I've trained, all that sort of thing. But I actually did do the 10-day total mind and body health reset. You sent it over to me, didn't you? Yes. And I actually did it before doing the podcast. And I've got to be honest, I think lots and lots of people would benefit from this. So really, you've said sort of for anyone starting or restarting their journey with their health, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just designed to help people to rid the bodies of like the built up toxins and waste.
Yes.
Create the inflammation. Do you know what I mean? That have us feeling a bit sluggish, and then also help normalize hormone levels and give you more energy, make skin glow, and just fuel your body so that you feel good.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. And so can you take us through like the key stages of it? So we said about starting at the beginning. Excuse me, everyone. It was talking about sort of starting your day, wasn't it? And like sort of waking up and having a drink. And like we were saying, things like caffeine. A lot of people that I know will get up and have coffee first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing. And I was talking to you earlier, wasn't I? I was saying I've gone to decaf. Every time I drink now, I really try and avoid caffeine. So if they're all they've got is caffeine, you know, sometimes some places don't do decaf, do they? If I'm like, oh, I better have something else then, because I found that it really was a trigger for me. My husband will turn around and say, Heather, you've had caffeine, haven't you? You know, it either make me talk really fast, or almost like my brain and my mouth can't keep up with each other, or it make my tummy really bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. So in this health reset, we totally eliminate all caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay. And we replace that with what we call our morning drinks. So you've got
Yeah.
two choices. You either have the lemon and water with a pinch of cayenne pepper, or we
Yeah.
have the lemon and ginger. Okay. And these are designed, the reason we have those is so you're still getting your warm morning drink,
Yep.
which we all want, really.
Yep.
Not many,
Absolutely.
there's not many people I do know that don't have a warm drink on a morning, whether that be tea, coffee, or something else.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but it's just about creating that detoxing effect on the
Yes.
body to enhance your immune system, get everything working, fire your liver up, and just help it. Like we were saying before, the body, it does a very good job of detoxing itself.
Yeah.
And the aim of this is just to give it them little bit extra things to help it along its way.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
If you are a caffeine drinker and when you start this reset, you are going to suffer headaches, withdrawal symptoms from the caffeine. But
Yeah.
after about 3 days, that subsides and actually you feel so much better for it.
Yeah.
Then after that, you would choose whether you wanted to reintroduce a little bit of caffeine or you feel so much better without it. You know, it's about
Yeah.
people in their path.
It is definitely. I think everyone's completely individual, like you say, but they may well find that the caffeine that that is something doing something to them, that they might want to just dismiss a little bit or
Yeah.
cut back on. But also green tea, does that have caffeine in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Green tea is caffeinated.
Yeah.
So this is why through this, if you want them hot drinks that we say herbal teas, but just look out because some of them are caffeinated. Some of them have a base of green tea with other herbals in them. So like fruit teas
Yeah.
can be the base of green tea with the fruits in them. So it is just
Yeah.
kind of identifying what is caffeine free.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's actually a really good point because I think herbal teas, you always think, oh yeah, they're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't really read, do we? If they've got
No.
any added sugars or anything or any caffeine in them. And the other thing was the cayenne pepper. That was an interesting one. Don't do what I did and do measure it out slightly because
Yeah.
I think I burnt my throat and esophagus
Right.
the first time I drank one.
Yes. Yeah.
I full on think I had way too much. And it kind of,
It can
shocked
be
me.
spicy, can't it?
It was honestly, I thought, yeah, I said to Kev, oh my gosh, like my mouth's on fire. But yeah, I think, that's a good, is that just to wake everything up? Is that to get everything stimulated or
Yeah, but it
metabolic
also
stimulation or
helps.
something?
Yeah, where the body's been building up on toxins through the night, it
Yeah,
just helps with stimulating that to help clear.
just
Yeah.
clear it. I did wonder why the cayenne pepper was in there actually, but I thought, no, there is a real reason for that. There must be a very good reason for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's good combination actually. I think it was I'm not a big fan of ginger, like we said, but I did go with it. I bought fresh root ginger. And actually now I have it in everything. I just showed you, didn't I, earlier, while we're doing the podcast, I've got ginger and lemon water.
Yeah.
And I actually can tolerate water a lot better if I've got some kind of natural flavour in there.
Yes.
Rather than just drinking tap water, because actually you get a bit bored of it, don't you? And then you don't want to drink it, But no, that's really good. And anything else on the drinks in the morning that we should look out for?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
Milk with anything? Should we avoid milk? Should it be just plain?
We are avoiding milk through the.
We are avoiding milk.
Yeah, we avoid dairy. So if you want a milk alternative, but I would say for this, try and stick with literally just the water with the added bits in. Okay. And it is, like I say, it's helping to alkalize the body's pH and cleanse and speed up the release of toxins from the body. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. And so the next thing then is really about carbohydrates, the bits about sort of getting the healthy fats in, and then also the proteins.
Yeah.
So in terms of the carbohydrates, I like the bit where you said the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. But carbs have got such a bad rap, haven't they? And people fear carbs. And you don't need to fear carbs. What we need to fear is the processed carbs.
Yes, exactly. And I like the bit where you said fat doesn't make you fat.
No.
It's the sugar.
It is, yes. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think when was it with the low fat craze? I mean, when was that? The 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Know
It's
what I
got to
mean?
be.
And then since then, and people are driven by that we must eat, like these low fat spreads and things, but they're so processed. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many chemicals in some of them
Yeah.
that, yeah, no,
Yeah.
what we're talking here is like healthy oils, nuts, seeds,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
olive oil, all them.
Going back to basics, isn't it now?
Yes,
We're trying to strip back again. So we're going out of that and coming back into more of a unprocessed
yes,
sort of foods situation, aren't we? So we're
yeah,
trying to retrain our minds and our almost like our DNA, which we've
yeah,
been brought up on. If you,
yes.
especially if you're an 80s baby or 90s baby, it was pretty much that's what it was.
It was, yeah. And that's what we
So you've
saw
got to wean yourself.
in it as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it
And then
is,
you feed your family that, don't you?
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Yeah. And then, but what is missing when we try and reduce that fat, we're not allowing our bodies to absorb the nutrients as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the fats help with that nutrient absorption.
yeah,
So it better benefits our immune system and regulating
yeah,
the hormones and brain and even improving our brain function. So
yeah.
there's so many benefits to having them healthy fats.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then in terms of like healthy carbs, then like
Yes.
what would you say when you say about I cannot say this word, you know the word I'm trying to find, the glycemic.
Yeah.
Have I said that right?
Yeah. The glycemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about good carbs now in low in glycemic carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
So
what's
we're
that
looking,
mean?
so what we're doing is looking at anything that's not going to spike the blood sugar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so for this as well, we stick to on carbohydrates that are on the lower. Um, oh my gosh, starch. Couldn't get the think
Yeah.
of the word. Okay, so we're trying to avoid just for this is
Yeah.
the starchy type of carbs. Now they are
Yeah.
not a bad carb at
No.
all, but for the purpose of this, it's kind of just trying to keep them blood sugars level. Okay, and when you really, really strip it back, even them starchy carbs can give you a little spike.
Okay.
Do you know what? Does that
That's
make
good to
sense?
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And then
yeah,
in terms of sort of your healthy fats then, so like you've said, nuts, seeds, healthy oils like coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil. There's some really good ones, aren't they, to
yeah,
use?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They're quite accessible as well, aren't they, in supermarkets? Like I
Yeah,
know I've seen them in various supermarkets. I won't name them as such, but there are some lower, less expensive brands
yeah,
out there that do a good variety of
a good
different
mix.
oils and
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
So
Keeping your options open as well. What do you
yeah,
prefer? What's within your budget? Do you know what I mean? Like keeping it so it works for you.
yeah. And like you say, you do need these healthy fats because they're good for your nutritional absorption,
Yeah.
you're strengthening your immune system. You said hormone producing, production, brain function. There's probably loads more than that, isn't there?
Oh,
Really,
absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of okay. So that's good. I think this is really good for people to like understand sort of why this is important and why you get a varied diet, but also why stripping it back and understanding your body and how your body responds to certain things is
Yeah.
really important because
Yeah.
that actually that can help you with so many things. You might even see a change in your like you say bowel movements, or if you're suffering constipation you
Yeah.
might be able to get to the bottom of it, excuse the pun, and find out what in your diet's causing some of that.
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
skin reactions, like you said, psoriasis. I think there's a lot of psoriasis sufferers out there.
Yeah.
Um, and just any skin inflammation,
Yeah.
um, or joint inflammation, or there's so many things, possibly just taking it back down, like we say, 10 to 20 days just to reset your system and
Absolutely.
find out what's working, what's not working for you, what you've taken out that is
Yeah.
possibly wasn't helping you, etc. Um, so then in terms of protein, because I know here protein sort of banded around a lot, sort of what you said animal protein should be eaten in moderation then during the next sort of 10 days or 20 days or however long the
Yes.
person's doing it for. What's the reason for this sort of taking the animal protein down?
Okay, so it's about the just reducing the making it easier on the digestive system.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what the aim is here. So it's not eliminating the protein completely, but it's how
Yeah.
do you feel by, say, having a plant-based breakfast, a plant-based lunch, and then having an animal protein meal for evening meal. How does that feel for you? How does it feel in your gut? Do you know what I mean? How does it feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel better? I mean, we absolutely benefit from animal protein.
Yeah.
100%. And if that's the route, I am an animal protein eater. But I do find that once I've done this, I am better. My tummy and everything just feels a bit better when I am more plant-based.
Yeah.
So it's given the people that chance as well to identify if that's something for them. So it's not that animal protein is bad, it's just how does it affect your digestive system? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get that. And it does say if you're choosing sort of protein source, there are sort of certain go-tos that people should consider. I know that the gut health team I spoke to on a previous podcast did sort of go through sort of your line caught fish, maybe your wild line caught, preferably, over your, farmed fish situation. And also sort of your grass-fed organic meats if you can. You've got sort of the chickens, the turkeys, and things like that. Because turkey's obviously a little bit better, isn't it, in terms of lean meat? I tend to find that actually you can use turkey as a substitute quite well. And you don't really notice.
Rather than having red meat, because I am better without red meat, definitely. It's not a complete elimination, but it's more of a it's definitely a reduced, where we would have it maybe a couple of times a week. It's now maybe a monthly thing. But I do substitute, say, mince, where I would use beef mince, I substitute that with turkey mince. And I enjoy so it's just,
and you can flavour it, can't you? You just flavour it. Everyone thinks of turkey like as a Christmas meal that's dry. I think that's why it gets a bad reputation, to be honest. But actually, it's just playing with it, and like you spice it up however you spice it up. Like I use it in a turkey chili and a turkey curry. And my dad used to hate turkey. Honestly, he absolutely hates turkey. But whenever he came around here, I'd do a turkey chili, and he wouldn't know.
That's it. Other than this,
and no one ever said.
When I started the transition though, because Liam, husband, is very much a red meat eater, that it would be 50-50. We would do 50-50 beef, and then now it's a full switch. So you take a longer transition period.
But you just got to make these small changes, and then gradually, and it's all good. It's good for the whole family as well. I think this is the thing I'm trying to sort of spread the information out a bit, because we're trying to really encourage the next generation of people to be a bit healthier, because I think we need to then promote that to our children. And that's what I'm very keen on, just making the next generation that little bit healthier from the get-go. And trying to just wean them now. While they're sort of younger. We've obviously got children of similar ages, and they don't really, I mean, it's really the power, what's the word I'm going to want to use? I feel quite empowered when I've made something that I know is healthy for them and they're eating it. Do you know what I mean? I almost feel like they're healthy already, which I know it takes time, but in your mind, it just makes you feel so much better.
Absolutely.
Just makes you feel like you're really making them as healthy as you possibly can do. I know there's lots of things out there that are going to influence them, but if you can try starting that at home and planting the seed at home.
So important.
So I think, so that's great. So we've gone through sort of most of the main points, and with the drinks and the food side of things. There are some other points. Is there anything else you want to add before we jump on to sort of the fermented foods? Is there anything else?
No, I think we've covered it all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to carbs though. When I say we're avoiding the starchy type of foods, that's we're looking at eliminating things like breads, pastas,
Yes.
and it's not that they're off the menu forever.
No.
It's how did you feel then?
Yeah.
If you want it, let's look at introducing it more as a whole grain rather than a white.
Yeah. So a whole grain. What about what's your take on sourdough then?
Yes, but you have to be careful with sourdough because not all of it is sourdough. It's like got a bit of sourdough in it, a bit cheeky.
I know. You have to watch the packet quite closely. I've
Yes.
learned that. But actually with sourdough as well, I don't think you can have too much because I don't use it as a complete substitute for everything. Because I
No.
think, it's not healthy for you. Exactly. It's a better alternative to bread.
Yes.
It's like I feel better when the kids are having cheese on toast.
Yeah.
And they have sourdough instead of
Yeah.
white. With white bread, there's a lot of hidden E numbers in there that people don't realize. They think a loaf of bread is just a loaf, flour, water,
Yes.
bit of yeast. But as you look on the packet on the back, there's a reason why it lasts a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's E numbers, there's preservatives in it. There's things that you don't even think. Before I started looking at labels,
Yes.
I really didn't realize what was in a bit of bread.
Exactly that.
From bought from the shop. I'm talking bought from the shop, not making your own. Obviously, it's a bit different, but yeah. And the thing is, when you make it at home, it only lasts 2 days maximum, and there's a reason for that. It goes rock hard.
I know.
It goes rock hard. You can't eat it.
Yeah.
So okay. So that's okay. So we're cutting back on the carbs, and I think for the 10 to 20 days, you said 10 to 20, haven't you, at the beginning? The 10 days after we said it's sort of varied.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, because it's going to be hard, depending on where you are, where you're starting.
Exactly.
It can either be a little upgrade and it feel okay because you're eat fairly well anyway, but you could find actually that you do have quite a bit of caffeine or you have got sweet tooth, feel a little bit more difficult. So initially you do it for 10 and then try again for a period of time. Definitely if you do suffer with something, it can be beneficial to do it more towards the 21 days. It gives your body more chance to kind of heal to an extent. Do you know what I mean? But it gives it chance to reset.
Yes.
And then you'll be more aware when you start introducing things of what impact that is, what exactly that's having.
Yeah. No, good point. And with then going on to the fermented foods, so you said like the kimchi, because we were talking about this, weren't we? Sort of all the things that I've started eating actually. So kimchi, kefir, you said sauerkraut, and I said like kombucha, which is normally I drink it, to be honest. But you said about sort of just trying to increase that good bacteria, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really in the body.
Yes. So in our house, these are identified as, because again, it's educating the younger generation, isn't it? And it's we call them gut bugs. Okay, so your microbiome, and it's and it's feeding them. Okay, giving them what they need. Do you know?
You're going to look after them, haven't you? They're like little pets.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Yeah. So and it's just helping them and increasing them. So that they can do what they need to do for themselves. Do you know?
Yeah. And it's great. Like I find that I was talking to you about the so it's olive oil, flatbread. So like I look at all the packets as you do. I didn't make it myself. I have to put it out there. But I had the most delicious lunch the other day with like salad. It was so filling. So just lots of salad on it. I did have halloumi, grilled halloumi cheese. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kimchi. So it was a beetroot mixed kimchi.
Nice.
It was so amazing. Then I had some chopped tomatoes on it, a little bit of avocado, and just wrap that all up. Oh,
amazing.
Delicious. Honestly, delicious.
And it's getting creative with it, isn't it? Because the thought of just eating veg is so boring.
Yeah.
But you can really You can
Oh,
really,
you've got to make it fancy, like we've talked about, haven't we? Maybe doing a bit of a looking at food and maybe making some dishes up and things that we'd go our go-tos. They're quite quick and easy. You can just shove a whole load of lovely, colourful veg, rainbow veg, in the oven, olive oil, chuck some, throw some good chicken breast or, turkey on it. Even a bit of like cheese on it, a bit of cheese on it, just make it really tasty. Oh, yeah. Seasoning. Oh, I'm getting hungry. Put it in the oven. And then you're pretty much done. And if the thing is, where we get, I think, a bit we all get a bit panicky is when dinners come round and, like, I don't know about you, but you've got the kids at home and they only eat certain things normally, don't they? All kids are a bit fussy, aren't they? But where you kind of got to tailor it is not make 2 meals, just shove it all in. If your kids are veg eaters, just shove it all in the oven, shove whatever it is with it. But I tend to then put cheese and a bit of pasta with it. So I might not have that. I'll just have like the load of veg and the meat. And then the kids will have like pasta with it. It's the same dish, same goodness. But they're having a bit of pasta and cheese on top of it, and it covers it up. It almost masks the fact that it's something really, really healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's how I pretty much make my pasta sauce. So you can buy, have you seen the bags of med veg that they do now, Mediterranean vegetables, frozen?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
No.
So olive oil and basil seasoning or something like that. Literally chuck them in the air fryer for 10 minutes.
No.
Then let them cool, chuck them in the blender with a tin of tomatoes, whiz it up, pasta sauce, boom.
Right, I'm trying that tomorrow. That's our pasta dish tomorrow. Right, we're on it. We're going to be making this stuff up. Tell you what, we're going to be doing that anyway. We've already said, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll try and do a little bit of a sort of what we'd kind of eat on a normal day and how to make it really easy, quick, and quite accessible for most people, really. That's the thing, isn't it? Trying to make it really accessible, because it doesn't have to be. I think a lot of people think healthy is expensive. But it's making the changes. It's doing the switches. So it's not really any more expensive. I mean, some of it's marginally, maybe, depending on what brand you buy. But like we've said, there are various brands out there. They don't have to be the top-notch ones, top shelf ones. There are quite a lot of good substitutes out there. So we're going to try and do something with that, aren't we? At some point after the school kids have gone back to kids have gone back to school when we've got some time. And so anything else you want to add there? Because there's a few things about sort of not so much the food now. There's about sort of obviously getting your greens in. Sorry, we missed that one. About getting sort of all your greens in and your vitamins and minerals in. Is there anything you want to add on to that?
So getting greens. They're just so important. They hold so many nutrients.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
You can make them taste good too, or put them in a blender, can't you? Put them in a blender and put them in your smoothie.
So handful of spinach. But this is the key, right? So put a handful of spinach in your blender. With a bit of water and blend that first before you get anything else. You don't get leafy bits stuck.
That's the key.
Or kale, do you know what I mean? But their greens are absolutely packed with vitamins and minerals. Okay. They help reduce inflammation and help with various diseases. Help prevent various diseases. Antioxidants. Gosh, they're just such a beneficial thing to have.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think we get enough of them, actually. I don't think we do. And the thing is, they do go off, if you buy them in packets in a plastic bag. They do go off pretty quickly. So I think the key is to maybe freeze them and bring them out as a smoothie option. What's your thoughts on that?
I think so.
I tend to buy the bag and put it in the freezer, when you pick up a bag of kale or whatever, and then chuck it in the freezer instead of putting it in the fridge.
Finish balls. Anything.
Brilliant. We need some, I'm gonna need some some recipe ideas off you then, Sarah. That's next on your to-do list. Thank you. And now, so if we go on to the body and skin detoxification, So daily dry skin brushing. Now I've got to be honest, this is the bit of the 10-day health reset I might have not, I didn't get the brush. I don't know. Are they easy to get hold of?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, absolutely. You can pick them up.
Anyway, Home Bargains, somewhere like that. Shouldn't mention names of places, I guess.
Yeah,
But
literally just any of them home stores, supermarkets. Yeah, they don't have to be expensive. Do you know what I mean?
can you
They're
use a
just
loafer? I didn't ask you. Can you use like you know, the loafer sort of things? Do you
like
know the ones I mean?
the
Squidgy.
the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I guess you could, yeah. I mean, it's still gonna, but you are better off with the brush.
Yeah, because I suppose it gets the circulation better, does it? Is that what we're trying to do? Is increase
Yeah,
circulation,
we're
stimulate
looking
circulation?
for
Yeah.
improving the circulation, getting the blood flowing,
Yeah.
and lymphatic drainage, help like
Yes.
get
Yes. Yes. Yes.
everything
Yes.
going through the lymph nodes. Yeah, and it's good. It feels nice. It's actually feels nice too. But it
Yeah.
does, like, cause oh my gosh, I can't think of the numbers now, but so the skin,
Yeah.
it detoxifies as well, and it
Yeah.
gets, I want to say about 25% of waste 20 no, okay, so the skin, it's the biggest organ, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. That's
And I
why.
guess,
Yeah, it's so important.
yes, and actually when we do especially when you're doing the detoxing thing
Yeah.
that you said, it's you lose waste through your skin as well, and you can lose about
Yeah.
2 pounds of waste through your skin. So dry brushing before you get in the shower just helps get rid of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Every day.
and ideally, yeah. But I mean, even if it's just a couple of times a week, it's better than not at all.
Blimey.
But
Okay. I'm out buying that brush.
yeah.
That brush is being bought next time I am out at a home store somewhere.
Yes, that's it. Because like, like we've heard about how good exfoliating and stuff is, and it just
Yeah.
allows for the pores to be clear, for the
Be clear. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Get rid of all the gunk.
Yep.
No, fair point. Because actually, yeah, I was going to say actually, the skin is the biggest organ,
Yes.
and therefore, what we put on it is quite
Absolutely.
important too, isn't
It
it?
is.
And I think it's an interesting one because I was doing some reading and research the other day about skincare products, which I think I've told you, hair, shampoo. I've completely changed shampoos, um, skincare, sort of facial skincare.
Yeah.
I know another one you look at is deodorant,
Yeah.
which I know is a big one because I buy now my daughter's getting older. I've got her a natural product.
Yeah.
I think for some people, like antiperspirants are a tricky one because if you're a bit of a warm-blooded morsel, like myself, and we do quite active jobs, don't we? Me as a physio, obviously, you as a personal trainer and life coach. I think it's really, you move a lot and you're then very aware of how warm you're getting. And I
Yes.
think I've got to be honest, I think finding a certain deodorant is quite tricky for most people,
Yeah. But
isn't
it
it?
also takes time of using that as well.
Yeah.
But it is making the switch, the transition from what we used to more of these natural products.
Yeah.
It's very much trial and error, isn't it?
Oh, it is total trial and error, really. And I think it's you just gotta, sorry, I'm even good. Anyone on the podcast will be like, what's she doing? I'm just moving my curtains, sorry. I think it's, you just got to find your way, haven't you? Like everyone's completely different. So you've just got to try it. You get through a few. I mean, sometimes they give you samples in places, especially if they're sort of your more sort of natural health products in shops. They do give you little trials of them these days. So that's sometimes the way to go, first of all, before you spend all your money. But in terms of now sort of shampoos and things then, so we're looking for those with the least amount of chemicals.
Yes, absolutely. And kind of in the actual success guide as well, I have put a chart in there, and it's just the ones that we're looking, the products that we would put on our body and what we're looking for to avoid ideally in the products.
Yeah.
Just because can be a bit, and it's like if we're eating well, great, but if we're putting on as well, like some of that gets absorbed, you know
it is. And yeah, I've got to be honest, and also looking at sort of perfumes and smells and scents, if they smell good, chances are they've got a chemical somewhere that you maybe don't want to inhale every day.
And that's it. And but if you are a perfume wearer and you don't want to give that up, then it's like just spray it on your clothes instead. Okay.
Yes.
On
your
top.
Oh, do you know, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. If I'm going out somewhere, I'm more of a sort of get triggered by perfumes, actually, some migraines, but sometimes I like a bit of scent, and I'll just spray it on my clothes.
Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of sleep as well, we're going to touch on sleep before we wrap it up. Really important to get at least 7 hours, isn't it? You know.
Absolutely, and many people don't. So really, we're aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night.
Yeah,
and it's just to give the body a chance to restore itself.
You have to, and it's the main time that it actually heals. If it's got anything to heal, you know, that's when it does its most amount of healing, isn't it? It's like when kids are growing.
Yes, absolutely.
When they grow, so they have to have their sleep. And I know it's hard if you're sort of a parent and you're having disrupted sleep or whatever it is, or you're trying to work when the kids are in bed, so you end up doing 4 or 5 hours in the evening. Try to get out of that habit, guys. Absolutely. Try and get out of it.
You have to be disciplined with this.
I know. And
it's not an easy transition to do, but it's so
you've got to try and spend some time on yourself. Now, I'm going to whiz through the next couple because we are coming to a close in a minute. So we've got A for affirmation.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, and this
is really important.
Yeah,
actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know. And this as well, like when I speak to people about sort of thing, it's about positive self-talk as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So hard on ourselves. We're our biggest critics.
And massive.
Down. So this is kind of like just reframing them negative thoughts, starting out with the positives and ending with the positives.
No, absolutely. I think so. I think it's so important. I think that's one bit that most people miss out in a day.
Yeah.
Is the affirmation. And I think it's just knowing your self-worth and just telling yourself, it's you know, I'm doing a good job. I'm okay. We all have blips. I mean, we all have, you know, moments where we're like, oh no, what have I done? Why am I doing that? But you know, that's normal. As long as we know and we're aware that's normal, we're not hard on ourselves for it. You know, and it's like things like taking risks, which is actually a podcast in itself that I'm going to be doing. Just talking about just to take risks, do something, you know, have a thing you want to do and achieve, do it, because you'll only regret not doing it.
Absolutely.
You know, take a chance, you know, what's the worst that can happen? As long as it's something that is not going to affect your whole world, you know, world well-being, and you know, you've got to think about really strategically, you know. But if it's something like even me doing this podcast right now, the risk, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. What's the worst that can happen?
It is just, you know, to step out your comfort zone.
Exactly.
What that looks like, it doesn't matter what that looks like. It can be something that you think, oh my God, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that can feel like a massive thing to do.
Yeah.
Talking on reels, but I try and do it a couple of times a week.
Yeah. You just got, you know, you've got to do it. You know, you've got to put yourself out there. And I think, you know, just tell yourself, as long as you've got to be happy. You've got to be within you. You've got to tell yourself you're okay. You're doing okay. Every single day, you've got to be like, get up and be like, yep, today's okay. I'm going to be good. Absolutely. And half the time you will be fine because your mindset is there. And if anything does blip along the way, you tend to go, oh, well.
But that's it. Most of our problems are in our mind, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So we've got the bit about sort of like mind and spirit cleanse. The next bit was about hello sunshine. So it's getting out and getting that vitamin D and getting that light in our eyes, isn't it? Really, wake up, sit out in the garden, have your cup of warm whatever you're drinking, you know, have it.
Yes, or just even at work, being able to take 10 minutes away from your desk, or
Yes,
if you've got time to go for a quick walk, go for it. Just get
I
out.
know. Yeah,
I mean,
10 minutes is better than nothing.
There, isn't it? When it's the lighter
Yeah.
mornings and lighter nights, but definitely it's so important in the winter to just try and get out while it's light.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sarah. Well, thank you for all of that. I just want to add right now that there is a guide to this. It is a guide, however, it will be available on our Instagram pages. So it'll be on mine, the REHolistic Physio Instagram page, and on your podcast. Sorry, Sarah, on your Instagram. So Healthy by Habit. The details can be found on there after this podcast. Yeah, and we hope you know have a look at that, because I think it's really going to be beneficial for people to have a look at this. And I think a lot of people, if they actually sort of kick-started and started sort of a process like this, then they'd find it quite beneficial, actually. I think they'd be surprised what would come out of it. But yeah, thanks for that, because I really wanted to go through that, because I think it is a really good, really good sort of guide to what people, how they can start it. So thanks for talking us through that. 3 key points then to take away. Have you got them spring into mind?
Spring into mind. Take the leap. Okay, it might sound scary, and stripping everything back can be very scary, but actually you never know what you might take away from it.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
nice.
Take the leap.
Yep.
Affirmations, whether you do this affirmations,
big one.
Everybody can start that now, and it feels weird in the beginning, but go for it. And as always, keep it simple.
Love it, Sarah. Thank you so much. Love talking to you. You're going to be on again. So Sarah Armstrong, you are the best. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Been great.